A few words as described by Bhain Ji Raj, Sukhwinder Kaur, Sant Ji's daughter-in-law, from Canada. Bhain Ji Raj, wife of Balbir Singh from Canada, said that it was a reality that she never knew about Papa Ji, that he was a saint of the highest order. She said that she was quite young and used to believe that Sant Ji was just a father like any other father. She told that they were just sitting at home and in response to some conversation, maybe with Mataji or some other person, she arrogantly and quite angrily said, "It will be done only the way I say." Papaji called me and affectionately said that it was not the right way to talk. It is always better to keep quiet rather than venting out anger. By keeping quiet, one would gain a lot. Now, after so many years, I could realize the meaning of those words spoken at that time. He blessed me so much that I don't get angry on any of the issues, whatsoever those might be. Neither do I talk much. My mind always remains quite at peace. I feel that whatsoever was spoken by Sant Ji might be very casually, ultimately turned out to be true. My auntie, Puaji of Kaee, Kartar Kaur, Karo, would keep sitting in meditation all through 24 hours. She was always engrossed in doing Simran. She often used to say that she feels hunger only of Naam and doesn't need any worldly food. The onlooker might feel as if she was eating some food. The fact was that she never felt hungry and never asked for any kind of eatables. I must say that great was that mother who gave birth to 3 God-knowing souls, Braham Gianis. Raj told that Papaji would make us listen to the Anhad Shabad, unstruck melody. She actually had heard and saw that, all by herself. In 1975, Sant Kartar Singh Ji Bariaranwale came to Kumaon and I, Raj, got baptized from his Jatha. Papaji, when posted in Bhutan, would always remain absorbed in deep meditation, and many a time God himself had to perform his official duties. Once Papaji was supervising some work and he sat down for meditation and he got completely engrossed in that. RCC roof under which he was meditating suddenly collapsed, but the portion where he was sitting remained intact and he didn't suffer any injuries. Nobody who would casually meet him or see him could ever imagine that he was an enlightened soul and a saint of the highest order. He used to wear very simple clothes. Often he would be seen playing with children, and he would love everyone and would interact with everyone. His approach in the court of the Lord cannot be matched with anyone. He gave every credit to Palai's Sangat and used to say that if anyone wants to have anything, he should ask from Palai's Sangat. To blow the flute. Once Bhai Balveer Singh, Sant Ji's nephew, was going to Gurdaspur in a bus along with Papaji. Papaji was sitting just behind the driver's seat. He would start producing the sound simulating to that of a flute for some time and then he would stop it abruptly. Driver thought perhaps his engine was producing that sound, so he had to stop the bus time and again to examine the engine by opening up the bonnet. Only after quite some time he could realize that it was Papaji who was producing that unstruck sound. To initiate into Simran. Raj said that it was perhaps in 1975 or so when they were living in their previous old house and her husband was employed at a far-off place and used to come only once in a year. When would a saint bless anyone? Nobody could ever imagine. Sant Ji sent me to Kaee Nangal along with my mother-in-law, my maternal auntie Jeeto, and my elder sister Ravinder. There Bhai Kapoor Singh, Bhai Mota Ji, initiated me into Naam Simran by putting me in a room for 3 days. He asked me to chant Vaheguru in a loud voice. I often would see outside through the window and would see them eating melons, etc. If ever I would be quiet, maybe even for a moment, Bhai Kapoor Singh would strike his cot with a long stick which he kept by his side. Like a small child who is asked to repeat the same lesson time and again in a primary school, I was asked to repeat the Naam continuously for 3 days, and I was kept alone in that room. The initiation done some 30 years ago has now brought me the fruit. I am blessed with Naam. Sant Ji's blessings are beyond expression. A few words as described by Bhai Charan Singh of Pillai Nagar. To respect Pillai's Sangat and accompanying Singhs. One day Bhai Kapoor Singh, Bhai Pyara Singh Ji Padda and Bhai Gurjeet Singh GM Sahib came to me in Sector 2. After taking tea etc., they told me that Sangat had put me on some duty and said that I would not refuse that. Actually, before coming to me, they had gone to someone else for the same duty who had refused them. I requested them to explain in detail what exactly they want from me. They said that the marriage of the younger brother of Bhai Ram Singh Ragi, who was the main Ragi of Bariaranwale Jatha, was going to be solemnized in UP. Sant Kartar Singh Ji Khalsa Bariaranwale and Sant Kartar Singh Ji Bariaranwale, along with their Jathas, would be reaching there. Pillai Sangat wants me to go there and participate in the marriage on behalf of the Sangat. In those days, salaries used to be quite meager, and on top of that, it was the end of the month. So hesitantly, I requested them that I had only that much money with which I would be able to pay the fare to travel on one side only. They assured me that the Sangat would contribute the money and I should not worry about that. So the program was finalized for me to go to Rampur, UP. I reached New Delhi by train. The next morning I boarded a train for going to Rampur in UP, Uttar Pradesh. I was feeling quite lonely because I was completely new to that area and did not know anything about its topography. After a while, a Gurmukh couple boarded the train. I was a bit relieved by the thought that I would be able to inquire about the area from that couple. I sat near them and asked where they were going. They told me that they were going to Rampur. I was quite happy to hear that and further asked, at which place in Rampur? BBG said that they were going to attend the marriage of her brother. I was excited and asked whether they were going to Bhai Ram Singh Ragi's house. They said yes. Now I was overjoyed that I had got a company to go to the same place. After deboarding the train, we reached the bus stand of Rampur. I was feeling quite hungry because I had not taken anything since morning. So I went to a shop to have some breakfast. The shop was established in a hutment. The bus stand was quite deserted and there were only 2 or 3 huts, which were serving some eatables to the passengers. The shopkeeper was just to prepare something for me when the couple came searching after me and asked me to accompany them immediately. I told them that I was feeling hungry, so I should be allowed to eat something and then they would proceed further. They explained that small winding roads passed through the jungle, forest, where wild animals keep roaming freely. And on top of that, a stranger like me can easily get lost in the forest, so I should accompany them immediately. So I moved with them without eating anything, and walking together, we reached Bhai Ram Singh Ji's house. Next day after Pog ceremony, the marriage party reached the nearby village in a bus. Just after some time, Sant Kartar Singh Ji Khalsa, along with Papaji, also reached there along with their Jathas. As soon as they came out of the bus, Papaji saw me and loudly said, "Pillai's Sangat has reached." He felt quite happy to see me. Papaji called me and showered lots of love and affection upon me. That was how Papaji used to love Pillai's Sangat. The money which Pillai's Sangat gave me as a gift, I handed over that to Sant Kartar Singh Ji Khalsa Bariaranwale. I felt like embracing Sant Khalsa Ji in my arms. The sentiment behind this feeling was that some time back when Sant Khalsa Ji and Papaji along with their Jathas came to Pillai, Papaji had asked Pillai's Sangat that Khalsa Ji needs another vehicle and he fixed the amount which each one of the Sangat should donate and accordingly, everyone donated the money and a new jeep was bought. At the same time, Sikh Young Man Association thought of doing something for the poor people, and it was decided to start a homeopathic dispensary in the village Kaee, Pelai. It was also decided that Sant Khalsa Ji and Papa Ji would jointly do its inauguration. Papa Ji was requested for this and he obtained consent from Sant Khalsa Ji as well. Now a room was immediately required for the dispensary. I offered to let one of the rooms of my house in Kaee to be used as the dispensary. One Singh, baptized Sikh, who had just come after completing his homeopathic degree, was appointed as a doctor. The very next day, Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji was brought to that house, and both the saints were asked to jointly perform the inaugural ceremony. Whole of the Sangat, along with two saints and their jathas, groups, reached there, and Ardas, supplication, was performed in front of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji for allowing to start the dispensary. Prasad, Holy Communion, was served. Suddenly, Sant Kartar Singh Khalsa Ji expressed the desire to see the house by going inside the house. Papa Ji, Sant Khalsa Ji, Daljit Singh Mahant, Baba Padda Ji, Gurjeet Singh GM, and many others went inside. I was serving the Sangat by getting their hands washed. I just ran and joined them. Sant Khalsa Ji asked whose house that was. Baba Mahant Ji pointed a finger at me and said that it belonged to me. I, as per my little wisdom, started explaining Sant Ji that this was the bedroom, that was the bathroom, and that was the kitchen, etc. I never came to know what came into the mind of Sant Khalsa Ji. He tightly hugged me in his arms, but I came out of his embrace by applying some force. Just after that, Papa Ji hugged me in his arms, and I again did the same thing to relieve myself from his embrace. I could never understand what sort of fear overpowered me at that time. When we came out of the house, I was feeling quite pleased and my mind was quite at peace. Then I started regretting as to why I forcefully came out of the embrace of both the saints. There and then I told myself that as and when I would get a chance, I myself would embrace Sant Khalsa Ji. In the village Kaee itself, another family came to know about the arrival of Khalsa Ji's Jatha. That man came to me and expressed his desire to take the Jatha to his house. By listening to his request, I started thinking, because that family was in the business of selling liquor and also was lending money on interest, and the Jatha was forbidden not to take even tea or anything from such a person's house. With a perplexed mind, I went to Papa Ji and told him the whole situation. Papa Ji said that they would definitely go. Both the saints along with Sangat went to their house. The result of the Sangat going there was that their 10 to 12-year-old son got baptized. Now here in village Rampur, UP, the engagement ceremony was complete, and time and again the thought of embracing Sant Khalsa Ji was coming into my mind. I just thought that as and when Sant Khalsa Ji would come out of the tent fixed for the marriage, I would just embrace him. Just after a while, Sant Khalsa Ji got up from behind Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and came out of the tent to go to his bus. I just embraced him. Still, I was not fully satisfied and again thought that he should come out once again and I would again embrace him. Perhaps that was not a wise thought on my part, but still Sant Khalsa Ji came out again and I hugged him. He too showered a lot of love and blessings on me, and my wish was also fulfilled. A true saint does not differentiate between their companions and general Sikhs. They shower their love on everyone. They understand and fulfill everybody's inner wish. Then the bus of the Jatha went back to Bhai Ram Singh's village. They didn't eat anything at both the places. They just took some rotis along and moved on. As soon as the bus moved, Papa Ji started Anhad Shabad and continued that for quite long time. After quite some time, everyone started feeling very hungry. Then one roti with pickle was served to everyone in the Sangat, but that was not enough to satisfy their hunger. Then Khalsa Ji said roasted almonds be served, but that too could not satiate their hunger. Perhaps that was the way how the Singhs of the Jatha were trained to yield to the Hukam, Lord's will. Then Papaji got up from his seat and went near Khalsa Ji. He called me there and made me sit near him on the same seat. Hesitantly, I sat near them for some time. Papaji told Khalsa Ji to take some rest as he was to render a religious sermon in the morning. Khalsa Ji started taking off his turban by slowly unwinding it. Papaji received it in his hands and then, after folding it neatly, placed near Khalsa Ji's pillow. By seeing that love and respect amongst the saints, I was quite humbled with humility. That feeling cannot be expressed in words. That was another lesson for all of us, how the Gursikhs should love and respect each other. Rather, that was Papaji's style of conveying very deep messages by practical demonstration. On the way there came a place which was full of sand, and the bus got stuck into that. Khalsa Ji asked everyone to get down and push the bus. When I was coming out, Khalsa Ji told me to keep sitting. Bus was pushed out of the sand and we moved on. I felt as if Khalsa Ji specially blessed me. Even now, whenever I remember all those moments, I feel enthralled. After some time, the bus stopped in a village and Jatha was asked to come out, where a small tent was erected for them to stay. Everyone was served with a bowl full of milk. At night, food, langar, was also served in the same village. I have totally forgotten the name of that village. Desi ghee was served in ample quantity in the buckets, as if vegetables or dal was being served, and Sangat's hunger was completely satiated. After the evening nitnem, daily evening prayer, everyone started getting ready to go to sleep by moving to their respective places. Papaji took me on the roof of the house. 3 beds were placed there. Papaji asked me to sleep on the middle bed. I was a bit afraid to sleep in between 2 accomplished saints. I knew my weaknesses because hardly ever I had done complete nitnem. So I pleaded before Papaji that it was not possible for me to sleep in between 2 great saints. Only after a lot of persuasion, Papaji agreed and asked one of the Singhs to arrange 1 bed for me on the ground floor. That was how Sant Ji used to shower his love. Had I slept over there, it might have been quite possible that I could have been blessed by both the saints. But unfortunately, I was not that strong in my mind at that time. Next day, the whole group moved early in the morning, and the personal assistant of Sant Khalsa Ji, that is Bhai Ram Singh Ji, told Papaji that he was running a fever for the last 2 days and there was no relief. He just sat down in between the legs of Papaji. After a while, he said that he was feeling better and his fever was also gone. Many a times, just by coming in contact with Papaji, one could get the relief from his sufferings. In the afternoon, the Jatha reached village Rode. The Jatha was served with milk pudding of rice, kheer and puris. Lot of Sangat from the nearby villages also came to join the Sangat. In Rode village, Papaji asked Sant Khalsa Ji to offer me a robe of honor, Siropao. Khalsa Ji announced in whole of the Sangat that here is a Singh from Palai Sangat, which had donated a new jeep to the Jatha. From there, I begged my leave from Sant Khalsa Ji and Papaji and came to my village. To allay doubts of Bhai Ram Singh, Bariaranwale, as told by him. I went to Nanded in 1979. There I met a Nihang Singh who gave me certain suggestions regarding the recitation of Sukhmani Sahib Gurbani. He asked me how did I recite Sukhmani Sahib's Gurbani. I simply told him that I recited in the same way as everyone does. He told me that it would not be that fruitful and suggested that for maximum benefit, it should be recited by prefixing a sampat, a couplet of Gurbani, with it. I asked him for the detailed procedure to be followed. He asked my name and told me that my Rashi, star, was Tulla, Taurus. So I should do Sukhmani Sahib part by prefixing the following sampat with it. Deen dard dukh panjana, kat kat nath anath, sarane tumari ayo, nanak ke prabh saath. O destroyer of pains and the sufferings of the poor, O master of each and every heart, O masterless one, I have come seeking your sanctuary. O God, please be with Nanak. I came back and started reciting Sukhmani Sahib as per the suggestions of that Nihang Singh. I continued that for almost 3 months until Papaji came to attend the Pog ceremony of Pai Kapoor Singh Ji on the 10th day of his death. That was my first chance to meet Papaji. I narrated him the whole incident. He told me that I should not get confused by complicating the process because Guru Granth Sahib Ji has neither indicated nor has written anywhere about that. So one should recite Gurbani the way it is written in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and no sampat etc. should be prefixed. After that, I started coming daily to listen to the sermons of Papaji, and many of my doubts were cleared. I got permanently attached with the Sangat. I can say that it was nothing but the blessings of Sant Ji and the Sangat, and I owe everything to the Sangat. I used to recite the Bani of Japji Sahib in the morning and Rehra Sahib in the evening, and never recited full Nitnem, even after getting baptized. I asked Papaji that I was reciting only 2 Banis. Was that correct? Papaji told me that when 5 chosen ones, Panj Pyaras, bestow anyone with Amrit, baptism, they always tell to recite 5 Banis in the morning and 2 in the evening. So that becomes a commandment of the Guru, and every baptized Sikh is duty bound to obey that commandment and thus ought to recite the prescribed Nitnem. Then I asked about Ardas, prayer before God. Should it be performed by standing, or it could also be performed in the sitting position? He asked me that while traveling in the train etc., how do we do that? I told him that we do that in the sitting posture. Explainingly, he told me that wherever Guru Granth Sahib Ji would be present, Ardas should always be performed in standing position only. Otherwise, on certain occasions or in special circumstances, it can be performed by sitting and even in laying down position. My next question was that when 6 circles of the body start opening up, does the meditator come to know about it? Papaji said yes, the meditator automatically comes to know about all these things, but one should avoid getting confused by indulging in the tedious process of acquiring knowledge about all these things. Rather, one should always keep on reciting the Naam as much as possible. I again asked, when automatic recitation, a Japa Jap of the Naam starts, does the meditator come to know about that also? Sant Ji said, yes, of course. Quoting an example, he said, even while traveling by train, in spite of lot of noise, one keeps on listening the Naam. I asked whether Simran, recitation of Naam, should be done by closing the eyes or it can be done by open eyes also. He quoted Guru Gobind Singh's Bani and said, Aankh meet kar jo dimb dikhave, sonar andhe ki padvi ko pave. One who pretends to be meditating by closing his eyes, he will ultimately turn out to be a blind man only. I was not able to understand that properly, so again I asked the same question the very next day. He retorted that it was clarified a day before. I requested that I could not understand that properly. He again repeated the above lines and said that Simran should be done by keeping one's eyes open. If in the process they get closed, then it was okay. But to close the eyes, especially to show to the world that you are meditating, that should be avoided. I asked that Bariaranwale Singh Ji had written in his book that Simran should be done in loud voice and asked Papaji to clarify whether one should do it loudly or silently. Sant Ji simply said that whatsoever had been written by him was correct, and further said, don't you see that we daily recite it loudly when we do Sangat in the morning and evening? I asked that Bariaranwale Singh in his book Naam Abhyas Kaee has written that while inhaling the breath, Wahe should be pronounced, and while exhaling, Guru should be pronounced. Is that the correct method of Simran? Sant Ji paused for a while, then said, "How many times can Vaheguru be repeated in one breath?" I said maybe 10 to 12 or even 15 times. Then Papaji said, "Look, my brother, is it better to say it just once or many times?" I said obviously it is better to pronounce for more and more times. Sant Ji said, "Then do what you feel is more beneficial." Sant Ji further said that everyone should initiate recitation of Naam in this way, and then Naam itself would synchronize with breaths automatically after a lot of practice at some later stage. To convey the message of Guru to whole of the Sangat by telling that to Bhai Joginder Pal Singh Ji in particular. 1. Never ever hurt a poor man to avoid any curse. Always help the poor. 2. Do not ever fall into any kind of controversy as far as Guruji is concerned. Have full faith in each and every word of Gurbani. 3. Whenever and whosoever comes to your house, he should always be served with food, etc., with great pleasure and happiness. One should never think that one is offering him food, etc. Actually, everyone eats his own share, which has been given to him by God Himself. Stick, Danda of Saints. Once Sant Ji was talking to Tanna Singh and Atma Singh. He said, with whichever Sangat one is attached, he should always remain attached with that Sangat, meaning thereby that one should have complete faith in Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. One should always keep on chanting the Naam and reciting the Bani, along with selflessly serving the Sangat. If one stops doing all these things, then Guru Sahib Ji, of course, will get it done by his strict order. Then Atma Singh, Seetal Singh and Tanna Singh said that they themselves were not able to do all those things continuously and asked Sant Ji to get that done by his strict order, Danda. Papaji asked them to keep quiet and said, "It is never easy to tolerate it. Whosoever joins the Sangat, if he keeps on treading the right path with complete truthfulness in one's mind, that much is sufficient for him. If one keeps on wandering hither and thither and moves away from the patronage of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, then he will have to be brought back into the Sangat by his strict order, Danda." He further said that just by chanting Naam and reciting or listening Gurbani without purity in our intentions, we cannot achieve salvation. He recited the following verse of Gurbani to enforce his point of view. Suhi Mahalla Chautha. Har har kare nit kapt kamave, hirda sodh na hoi. Andin karam kare bahut tere, supne sukh na hoi. Giani gurbin bhagat na hoi. Kore rang kade na chade, jo loche sab koi rahao. जप तप संजम वर्त करे पूजा मनमुख रोग न जाई अंतर रोग महा अभिमाना दूजे पाए खुआई बाहर पेख बहुत चतुराई मनुआ दै दिस धावै हमै व्याप्या शब्द न चीनै फिर जूनी आवै नानक नदर करे सो बूझै सो जन नाम ध्याए गुर प्रसादी एको बूझै Ekas Mahe Samai. One chants the name of the Lord, Har Har, while constantly practicing deception, shall never become pure of heart. He may perform all sorts of rituals night and day, but he shall not find peace, even in dreams. O wise ones, without the Guru, there is no devotional worship. The untreated cloth does not take up the dye, no matter how much everyone may wish it. The self-willed manmukh may perform chants, meditation, austere self-discipline, fasts, and devotional worship, but his sickness does not go away. Deep within him is the sickness of excessive egotism. In the love of duality, he is ruined. Outwardly, he wears religious robes and he is very clever, but his mind wanders in the 10 directions. Engrossed in ego, he does not remember the word of the Shabad. Over and over again, he is reincarnated. O Nanak, that mortal who is blessed with the Lord's glance of grace understands him. That humble servant meditates on the Naam, the name of the Lord. By Guru's grace, he understands the one Lord and is absorbed into the one Lord. He recited the complete Shabad and proved his point. 21 generations of a Gurmukh who obeys every commandment of Guruji get salvation. Papaji on many occasions declared in the Sangat that 21 generations of a Gurmukh, Braham Giani, that is, a God-knowing soul, achieve salvation. Once Bhai Prem Singh, husband of sister Nind of Tariwal, asked Papaji that daughters, of course, were part of the generation, but what about their husbands? What would happen to them? Papaji said, all of you come under the category of near and dear ones, Sangi Sathi. He further said that Guru Sahib Ji had blessed him to the extent that all the near and dear ones would also achieve salvation. Bhai Prem Singh again asked that the salvation thus achieved, would it be forever or for some limited period only? Papaji said that it would be forever. But with the ever-prevailing order of Satguruji, one could be sent back on earth for the benefit of the worldly people. He made another request that Bhai Chamkaur Singh does not attend the Sangat, so ardas should be performed for him to join the Sangat. Papaji said, why the Sangat should pray for him? There is nothing which is pending for which Sangat requires his services. If he needs the patronage of the Sangat, he should himself come and pray before the Sangat to assimilate him into the Sangat. Similarly, on another day, the Sangat was going on and Papaji saw that his daughter Rani was praying by standing amongst the shoes of the Sangat. He asked her what she was praying for. She said that she had prayed for her brother, Chamkaur Singh, so that he also starts attending the Sangat like his younger brothers. Papaji said that the demand was good, but the Sangat does not require anyone for any of its tasks to be done. Maya is very powerful. Bhai Niranjan Singh often used to share the information that when Papaji was at village Padda, he was living in a cottage during the night, and during daytime he used to go to the tube well of Baba Udham Singh. One day Papaji was coming from Baba Udham Singh's tube well. Suddenly he slipped and one of his feet remained on the divider, Banna, amongst the fields, and the other foot slipped into the small water channel, Kharl, made for irrigating the fields. Niranjan Singh was walking by his side and someone else was walking on his other side. Papaji said, Niranjan Singh, if a person is having his one foot in Sachkhand and other in the mortal world, even then it is difficult to escape the effect of Maya. This way he explained the power of Maya in a very simplified manner. To ask about his oneness with God. Due to his illness, when Papaji was admitted into the PGI hospital, Bhai Atma Singh went there to see him. Bhai Atma Singh asked Papaji that while he was suffering from a serious illness and was passing through a lot of trouble, what was his status for his oneness with the God? Papaji just said, "Oh, my brother, that oneness is complete." About Ragmala. One of the employees of PGI hospital, namely Uttam Singh, kept serving Papaji by bringing food etc. from his house during Papaji's stay in the PGI. After getting discharged from PGI, Papaji went to his house. He asked Papaji to clarify one of his questions, and that question was whether Bani of Ragmala was written by Guru Sahib Ji or not. Sant Ji was quite annoyed and said that if he had a sword in his hand, he would have chopped off his head, and emphatically said that Ragmala had been written by none other than Guru Sahib Ji himself, and quoted the verse, Pita ka janam ke janne poot, sagal paroi apne soot. What does the son know of his father's birth? All are strung upon his string. That was how he made us all to completely believe Gurbani, and reinforced that by saying that each and every word of Gurbani is completely believable. That is another matter, that we are not able to understand it completely. Whenever one is blessed with deep understanding, then only he can relish the truthfulness of each and every word. One should never get embroiled into the verbal duel with anyone as far as Gurbani is concerned. No ifs and buts should be raised about Gurbani by anyone. That was how Papaji used to clear all our doubts by quoting from Gurbani itself. To leave for heavenly abode. It was 1st January 1982. Everyone was feeling that Sant Ji was having great difficulty in breathing. Apart from family members, a large number of Singhs were also present who were chanting Naam and reciting Gurbani. As the difficulty in breathing increased further, after some deliberation amongst themselves, Jathedar Gurnam Singh and few others went to Sant Jarnail Singh Ji Bhindranwale at Mehta. When the condition of Papaji was explained to him, he sent Bhai Amrik Singh along with few others and said that he would also be coming in a short while. In the early hours, all of them reached at Bariar. It was 2nd January 1982. Bhai Amrit Singh placed his hand on Papaji's chest and inquired about his well-being. The moment Bhai Amrik Singh placed his hand on his chest, Papaji left for his heavenly abode and achieved oneness with God forever. By that time, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji Khalsa had also reached there along with Kirtani Jathas. Jathas started doing Kirtan by singing hymns of condolence from Gurbani. That day was also an auspicious occasion of the birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. All that was just a coincidence. Verse says, Gurmukh Janam Swar Dargah Chalya, Sachi Dargah Jai, Sacha Pid Malya. A Gurmukh has decorated his life before he left for his heavenly abode. As a result, he has secured his place in the court of Almighty God. The glow on Papaji's face did not diminish at all. Onlookers were feeling as if he was just sleeping. When the news started spreading, a lot many people with their heavy hearts started pouring in from all over. The grief of leaving one of their most beloved one could clearly be seen on their faces. Sant Jarnail Singh Ji Khalsa personally supervised all the arrangements for setting his Sant Ji's funeral pyre, etc. He said that he was feeling as if his right arm was broken, but at the same time he was asking the family members and the Sangat to obey the eternal order of Almighty God. The place where the funeral pyre was lit, a beautiful Gurdwara has been constructed there. Papaji had already explained to me about the design of that Gurdwara. So obeying his commandment, it was built strictly according to his wishes. There is a big hall and rooms are made as directed by him. Once upon a time, there used to be a well on that place, which was filled with sand, as has already been written in this book. The Sangat is continuously being held at that place till today. Even today, Sangat from far-flung areas come there to fulfill their spiritual hunger. On the last Saturday of every month, special satsang program is held. Papaji did not nominate any of his descendants whatsoever. Perhaps it was his far-sightedness that he attached all his companions with Damdami Taksaal, and he himself also kept obeying all the dictates of the Taksaal. Bhai Amrik Singh, son of Sant Kartar Singh Ji Khalsa, often used to say that he had never seen a saint like Sant Ji of Bariaranwale, who himself along with all his companions completely merged themselves into the Damdami Taksaal. While on the contrary, it is quite often seen, rather one can say that it is a common practice that none of the sadhus allows his followers to follow anyone else. Papaji told me some futuristic incidents about Damdami Taksaal, which I feel I must share at this point of time. Firstly, he said that Taksaal shall exist forever. Secondly, that anyone who would be the head of the Taksaal ought to be an enlightened soul, Braham Giani, and would be sent by none other than Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Kalgitar Pasha himself. Thirdly, he said that the Taksaal would always guide the Sikh Panth. The whole world has seen that all the heads so far had been God-knowing souls and always remained firm on their word. We pray that this process may continue as such for all times to come. That was how a selfless soul came on this earth, became source of spiritual enlightenment for countless people, showed the path of righteousness to his fellow companions, and again merged into his parent source, that is, God himself. Verse says, Har ikas hath aya, varsane bahu tere. The Lord has come into the hands of the One, the Guru, who has blessed so many with good fortune. He would remain a permanent source of spiritual guidance for all times to come, for all those who want to tread onto the path of spiritualism. On the Pog ceremony on 10th day after his cremation, Sant Singh Ji said that often we come across persons who are only saints, but rare are the occasions when a person is not only a saint but a soldier as well. He said that Baba Bariaranwale was both a saint as well as a soldier. It was none other than Babaji Bariaranwale who, riding a motorcycle and by taking Bhai Dalbir Singh along, single-handedly stopped the program of Nakli Nirankaris, and that was followed by initiation of Big Morcha campaign against them. A letter written by Sant Kartar Singh Ji, Papa Ji, to his family for holding a Gurmat Samagam. It is being reproduced here in English. Date 3rd March 1971. ACM Kartar Singh, DLS 33, FD Workshop GREF, care of 99 APO, Ek Oankar Satgur Prasad. My son Balbir Singh, Chamkaur Singh, and all my dear children, with great love and affection, Sat Sri Akal to all of you. By this time, all of you might be fully aware of the fact that Sadh Sangat is going to bestow its darshan at our house. Sweet music of Shehnai, a flute-type musical instrument, will echo all around, and all of us will sing the hymns in the praise of the God. Vadbhagi har sangat pavai, ਭਾਗਹੀਨ ਪ੍ਰਮ ਝੋਟਾ ਖਾਵੈ ਬਿਨ ਭਾਗਾ ਸਤ ਸੰਗ ਨਾ ਲੱਭੈ ਬਿਨ ਸੰਗਤ ਮੈਲ ਭਰੀਜੈ ਜੀਓ. By great fortune the Lord's congregation is found, while the unfortunate ones wander around in doubt, enduring painful beatings. Without good fortune the Sat Sangat is not found. Without this Sangat, people are stained with filth and pollution. Another verse, कबीर जाकर साधना सेविया हर की सेवा नाहे ते घर मरहट सारखे भूत बसै तिन माहे. Kabir, those houses in which neither the holy nor the Lord are served, those houses are like cremation grounds. Demons dwell within them. Again, charan saad ge toy toy piyo arab saad ko apna jiyo. Wash the feet of the holy and drink this water. Dedicate your soul to the holy. Take your cleansing bath in the dust of the feet of the holy. To the holy, make your life a sacrifice. Again, Jap tap sanjam dharam na kamaya, seva sadhana janya hariraya, kaho nanak hum neech karangma, saran pare ki rakho sarma. I have not practiced meditation, self-discipline, self-restraint, or righteous living. I have not served the holy. I have not acknowledged the Lord, my King. Says Nanak, my actions are contemptible. O Lord, I seek your sanctuary. Please preserve my honor. Again, Har kirat saad sangat hai, sir karman kya karma. Kaho Nanak tis payo parapat, jis purb likhe ka lahna. Singing the Kirtan of the Lord's praises in the Sadh Sangat, the company of the holy, is the highest of all actions. Says Nanak, he alone obtains it who is predestined to receive it. My dear children, it is nothing but the seed of our previous lives which has germinated now. This is our great fortune, great fortune, great fortune. While waiting for this auspicious day, let all of us start making preparations to welcome and serve Sat Sangat by completely dedicating our mind, body and wealth. Remember, it is Satguru's own occasion, and he himself will bestow us to do all the arrangements in a very, very nice manner. Send messages to all the relatives and all around. Make arrangements for milk and milk cream. Send messages to village Batala, Pudda, Mundapind, Chandigarh, Nagpur, Pillai, village Thotar, Adampur, Delhi, and try to send messages in whole of the area around. 1. A beautiful tent should be erected and should be ready for the satsang by the evening of 9th March 1971. It needs to be beautiful and tastefully decorated. Condensed milk and cream and around 40 kg bundi, Punjabi sweet made of gram flour and sugar, should be ready on 9th March 1971. 2. Loudspeaker, lighting arrangements, tape recorder, etc. should also be arranged. 3. All other necessary materials should be arranged. 4. Utensils. 5. Accommodation. 6. An expert sweet maker who should also be proficient in preparing the food. 7. Program cards and pamphlets should be printed and distributed amongst the people. I've sent this whole program to Sardar Teja Singh, so before the final printing, it should be vetted by him. 8. The welcome committee will be as follows. A. President. Sardar Teja Singh of village Shiromani will supervise the food preparation by taking special precautions to maintain the purity as per the Sikh tenets. B. To welcome. Sardar Sukhdev Singh Ji, village Madhyala, Kaka Balveer Singh, Chamkaur Singh, Kashmir Singh, Gurnam Singh and Bachan Singh Madhyala. C. Overall arrangements. Sardar Shingara Singh, Darshan Singh, Supreme Sevadar, Sardar Mihan Singh and Sardar Sohan Singh. D. For buying materials etc. Sardar Jagir Singh, Bachan Singh, Gurnam Singh, Sardar Teja Singh, Namardar of Madhyala. E. For grinding wheat etc. To bring utensils from other places and to overlook the working of the sweet maker. Pai Darshan Singh Ji. F. Service of langar, food. Jeet Kaur, Mohinder Kaur, Guddo, Biro, Dalbir Kaur Madhyala and Bibi Taro of Kaee. G. For looking after the ladies. Pritam Kaur, Swaran Kaur, Charan Kaur, Biro, Dalbir Kaur and Kartar Kaur Madhyala. H. Arrangements of tents etc. Sardar Sukhdev Singh Ji, Bachan Singh Ji, Dalbir Singh, Chamkaur Singh and Sada Singh of village Padda. I. To arrange loudspeaker, lights, tape recorder etc. Sardar Seetal Singh Nagpur, Kulwant Singh Kaee, Karnail Singh Kalanangal, Sukhdev Singh Madhyala and Haripal Singh Ji Chandigarh. J. Camera and photos. Sardar Gurnam Singh, Sardar Sujit Singh Shiromani. K. Myself, the servant Kartar Singh and all other family members along with children will perform the brooming service, cleaning of the shoes, cleaning of the clothes and cleaning of the utensils. Servant of Sadh Sangat, feeling blessed and seeking to serve the Sangat. A humble servant Kartar Singh. By reading the above letter, one definitely gets motivated to serve the Sangat with utmost love and affection. Another thing which one learns is that everything should be planned well in advance. Whenever Sadhguru Ji blesses any Gursikh with a spiritual increment, he goes sacrifice unto Sadhguru Ji and his Sangat and always remains thankful for every little blessing. This feeling of gratitude for Sadhguru Ji and Sangat becomes a guiding force for all of us. This letter was written on the occasion of installation of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji at his residence at Bariaranwale. A meticulous arrangement was made keeping in view the respect of Sadhguru Ji. Gates were erected from village Madhyala to his residence. Flags were hoisted on the sides of the road. The service of sprinkling of water on the road was done by his wife, while the service of brooming the whole path was done by Papa Ji himself. He himself chose the hymns to be sung by the Sangat by standing on both sides of the road to welcome Guruji. Before Guruji arrived, every little arrangement was completed. Sadguruji was welcomed in the house with great respect and humility. By observing that spectacular welcome, whole of the Sangat was overwhelmed with enthusiasm, love and affection. Those who were present on that day could never forget that scenario. Actually, Papaji set an example by involving himself in every little service to show us all how to pay respect to Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Duties were allotted strictly according to the directions given in the letter, and everybody performed his or her duty with great devotion and dedication, ensuring that there should not remain any discrepancy while serving the Sangat. Papaji put some money in the pockets of a few of the Singhs of Palai Sangat, like Pai Pyara Singh Padda, Pai Tanna Singh, Pai Atma Singh, etc., and told them not to count the money but keep on spending wherever and whenever they were required to spend that money without any hesitation. One person was made to sit by the side where all the food materials were being prepared for the Sangat and was asked to ensure that everything should be properly covered, and he was asked to keep on chanting the Mool Mantra all the time. The servicemen who were to serve the food to the Sangat were instructed not to remove the cloth from any of the utensils containing various food items and were asked to distribute everything to everyone with open heart. It was also instructed that everyone should be given the return gift in the form of prasad of jalebis, a Punjabi sweet in small bags. In spite of the fact the Sangat had come from far-flung areas in large numbers, still after whole of the program was over, large quantities of many of the food items were lying surplus. The persons who were handed over the money could not spend that completely, and everyone was left with good amount of unspent money in their pockets. Papaji would stand amongst the shoes of the Sangat to welcome the Sangat. That was how he used to respect the Sangat. After whole of the Sangat would sit down, he would touch each and every shoe to his forehead and only then would go inside and sit amongst the Sangat. This was his daily routine. He, along with his wife and children, performed the shoe keeping service, washing of the clothes and cleaning the utensils. Papaji used to say that he was lucky to be blessed for serving the Sangat. Papaji named this program as Sant Samagam. Bibi Charan Kaur Ji, wife of Sant Kartar Singh Ji Bariaranwale. Bibi Charan Kaur's life was also that of a dedicated Gursikh. Throughout her life, she remained attached with Gurbani and spent most of her time in serving the Sangat. She, as per her routine, would get up early in the morning around 1:30 am or so, and after taking her bath etc., would sit down to recite Gurbani till around 6 am or 7 am in the morning. She would take some tea and snacks etc. and would take rest for some time. Again, she would continue with either reciting the Bani or chanting the Naam for most of the time. She had great respect and affection for Sant Kartar Singh Ji Pindramwale. After his demise, she had same respect for Sant Jarnail Singh Ji Pindramwale and Baba Thakur Singh Ji. All those great saints also used to respect her a lot. After Papaji left for his heavenly abode, she continued to serve the Sangat with great love and responsibility. She would always be sympathetic and ready to share every grief and sorrow of anyone from amongst the Sangat. Once Bibiji got hurt and Baba Thakur Singh Ji along with his Jatha came to inquire about her well-being. Some Singhs from the Jatha just said, "Mataji, you should recite Bani and Naam." Baba Thakur Singh Ji used to call her as Bibi Loi. He said that Bibi Loi is always engrossed in the recitation of Naam and Bani. When Sant Kartar Singh Ji Khalsa left this world, then Sant Jarnail Singh Ji was offered the turban of responsibility. Same day Sant Jarnail Singh Ji came to Bariar. Papaji asked Bibi Ji to demand anything, whatsoever she wanted to have, from Sant Jarnail Singh Ji Khalsa Pindramwale, because on that day he had been blessed with great powers by all the saints and the enlightened souls, Braham Gianis. When Sant Kartar Singh Ji Khalsa came to Bariar for the first time, then Papaji told Bibi Ji that once in-laws, and son-in-laws keep coming as guests in every house, but rare are the houses where saints come as guests. Papaji said that, "You have got saints as your guests. Serve them in every possible way to seek their blessings." That was how he used to respect saints more than anybody else. As fortune would have it, she developed liver disease. Initially, there was not much problem, but slowly the symptoms started getting aggravated. She could foresee that death was approaching fast, so she said that a Palai Sangat should be assigned the task of taking care of her body, and whole of the family and children were assigned the task of serving the Sangat. Ignoring her illness, she continued with her Nitnem and kept serving the Sangat until her last breath. Doctors said that she was suffering from the disease, which in vernacular language is called as black jaundice, hepatitis B, and said that such patients usually die a miserable death. In that condition, not only the patients suffer, but the attendants also find it difficult to tolerate patients' sufferings. She was admitted to Guru Ramdas Hospital on 1st April 2006. When she was being taken to the hospital, her daughter-in-law, Bibi Manjinder Kaur, was accompanying her. She fell asleep just for a while, and just then Papaji came into her dream and told her that her mother-in-law would be taken away from her. In spite of all the treatment, the disease was getting out of control, and after about 4 days of her admission, she had to be shifted into ICU. She asked her attendants to keep reciting Gurbani all the time and instructed them not to talk anything else. From amongst all those, Bibi Gurbaksh Kaur from Pillai was especially called midway from the ongoing program of Naam Simran Abhyas Kamai Samagam from Gurdwara Rampur Kheda. Bibiji told her to take over the responsibility of reciting the Gurbani and told her that she was going to die and would not be able to go back to her home. Even in the ICU, Bibiji would get up and sit down quite early in the morning to listen to her Nitnem as per her fixed routine. On the contrary, whole of the family and relatives were quite hopeful of her recovery and were thinking that she would soon be cured. They thought that because of her weakness, at the most she might have to walk with the help of a stick, etc. The reason of their hope was that in spite of such a serious illness, her face appearance was quite deceptive in giving the impression as if she was not afflicted with any serious illness. Whenever and whosoever would inquire about her health, she would always say that she was alright. Sometimes she would chant Vaheguruji in such a celestial peaceful manner as if she was calling Vaheguruji. She kept reciting Guru Mantra continuously and often would engage in some religious discussion. In the same ICU, there was another patient with the same disease. His pain was unbearable and his relatives were feeling quite helpless. When they came to know that Bibiji was also suffering from the same disease, they wondered how come she was so calm and quiet, while their patient was so restless all the time. Rani, daughter, said, "Make your patient to listen to the Gurbani as much as possible. Then he will also calm down." Previously, it was her fixed routine to take her head bath daily, and thereafter she would remain absorbed in Simran all the time. Many of the spiritual experiences of her life cannot be described in words. Bibi Gurbaksh Kaur from Pillai, who was attending to Bibiji in hospital, said that 3 days prior to her death, one of her devout followers brought her a bowl full of khichdi, boiled mixture of rice and lentils. Though Bibiji used to take very little food at that time, she washed her hands and finished whole of the bowl, and after washing her hands again, she sat down with crossed legs. Bibi Gurbaksh Kaur was standing near her feet, and Rani was going outside at some distance. Bibiji folded both her hands and quite loudly she said, "Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh." Bibi Gurbaksh Kaur hastily moved forward and called, "Biji, Biji." She just looked at her, straightened her arm and raised one finger as if she was going to order something, and then loudly said, "I am going, I am going, I am going." Repeating it 3 times, Gurbaksh Kaur just bowed her head and she blessed her with both her hands and then the power of her hands was gone. The whole of her body became flaccid. Gurbakhsh Kaur straightened her body on the bed. It was emitting a strange and attractive glow. Then whole of the ICU went into complete silence. Rani, who was moving out and was at some distance, could also listen to the loud voice of BBG. While remembering her, Gurbakhsh Kaur says that even today, she can hear that echo in her ears. Grandson of BG, Daljit Singh, to whom she used to love immensely, came along with his sister and started pressing her legs. He saw her face, which was just glowing. She looked up and again closed her eyes. She was respirating, but she was not eating anything. Occasionally, when after saying, "Vaheguru Ji, please take it," she would sip some juice. Doctors thought that she was in a coma, but we told them that she actually was in Samadhi. A doctor tried to check that and rubbed her chest. BG opened her red glowing eyes and asked what was going on. The doctor said that some medicine was to be given. With aggression, she said that she wouldn't take any medicine. Then the doctor asked whether she was in a Samadhi. She loudly said, "Yes," and closed her eyes. That condition lasted for 2 days. In those very days only, the book in hand, Virle Kaee, which was written on Papaji's spiritual journey, was being published. The job of editing and publishing was assigned to Amarjit Kaur of Jalandhar. The printing was almost complete. Gurbakhsh Kaur asked her to hurriedly complete the whole process so that the very first copy of the book could be presented and shown to BG. With Sadhguru's blessings, everything got completed just in time, and Amarjit Kaur brought the first copy of the book on 7th April 2006 to the hospital. Gurbakhsh Kaur and Rani took Amarjit Kaur along to show and present the book to BG. Oxygen and glucose was being administered to BG at that time. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh was uttered near BG's ear. She could respond only by saying Vaheguru. Then she was shown the book. BG just saw the book and again said Vaheguru. Being in Samadhi, she was not speaking in those days. Daljit Singh wanted to capture the moment by taking a photograph, for which BG had to be lifted a bit so as to make her face clearly visible. Gurbakhsh Kaur took off her oxygen mask and with the help of Amarjit Kaur tried to lift her up, but BG lifted herself up without any effort. Such lives become a source of inspiration for generations to come. The heart of a person who recites Gurbani becomes very soft. She never used her pension money for her family. She always helped the poor with great pleasure. Taking her life as an example, even today many people are trying to tread the same path to salvage their lives. When BG's disease was getting aggravated, her elder son Chamkaur Singh was quite disturbed and went to Gurdwara Bibeksar, situated near the hospital. He prayed before Sadhguru Ji by saying that he does not know whether BG has any more life or not. If not, please give 2 years of his life to BG. After the prayer, when he came back to the hospital to see BG, she said, "I am dead." Bhai Chamkaur Singh said, "BG, you are still alive." She repeated the same words again. It seemed as if she could realize the sentiment and impact of that prayer, and she conveyed that no such prayers should be made for her life. After these words, she never spoke any other word apart from murmuring Guru Mantra, Vaheguru, which continued until her last breath. By now, the news of her illness had spread all around, and all the near and dear ones and relatives came to know about that. Her daughter, Maninder Kaur Rani, had already come from Canada and kept serving her in the hospital along with Bibi Gurbakhsh Kaur. There were many others who continuously rendered their services. Another incident which needs to be mentioned here is that one of the Singhs of Damdami Taksaal, commonly called by the nickname Sant Ji, was sleeping in his village. Baba Thakur Singh Ji came into his dream and asked him what he was doing at his village. He should go to BBG Bariaranwale, who is sick, and make her to listen to the Gurbani. He got up early and went to Bariar, because he never knew that BG was admitted in the hospital. Then he reached Guru Ramdas Hospital and kept reciting Gurbani near BG all the time. The doctors attending on her were quite astonished to see the tolerance power of BG, which was very rarely seen in such patients. Doctors could also clearly feel that some spiritual power was helping her through. As a matter of fact, it was nothing but the power of Gurbani and blessings of Satguruji. As she was hardly drinking or eating anything, she had to be administered glucose continuously. Suddenly she sighed deeply and the doctors were called. Leaving every patient which they were attending to, all of them gathered around her bed. Everybody started reciting Vaheguru, Vaheguru. A very peculiar fragrance spread all around. The verse of Gurbani is, Jekar Sahib Manona Visre, Ta Sehla Marana Hoye. If I do not forget the Lord Master from my mind, then my death will be easy. In accordance with the above verse of Gurbani, and as per the irrevocable order of Satguruji, on 8th April 2006, at around 8 p.m. in the evening, she left for her heavenly abode. On 9th April 2006, amongst large crowds of Sangat, all with their heavy hearts, her last rites were performed as per Guru's laid down instructions, Maryada. End of audiobook part 10.